Hey folks, this is Kalani. Playing multiple characters or alts in the War Within expansion is going to be completely different thanks to the new Warbands feature. Warbands introduce true account-wide progression into the game, so you're earning and unlocking things for your account or warband instead of for individual characters. This means your progress will never get reset just for changing characters. You don't have to grind through the same systems for each character you want to play. You can transfer currencies between your alts with the snap of your fingers. There are massive changes to how transmog collecting is going to work, and you can even gear up your alt characters while playing your main. Playing alts truly will never be the same again, so let's go through everything we know so far about the new Warbands feature coming in the War Within expansion. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. The first thing you'll notice related to Warbands is the new character select screen. Instead of each character having their own background, your 4 favourite characters of your warband can share this amazing camp space, which is a much nicer way of displaying your favoured characters. This favourites list can be made up of any of your characters in a region, from any realms, or even from cross-faction. You can change where each character appears by changing their order in the list, so if you want someone to be on the left or the right specifically, you can tinker around with that. And you can very easily drag and drop different characters into and out of your favourites list. Now at launch we're only going to have 4 character slots in this menu, but we could see that maybe expanded upon in the future, so we might have a whole roster chilling around a campfire by the end of the War Within. A recent blue post also mentioned that the dev team are working on building more of these scenes for us to collect in the future, which is fantastic news. Imagine completing achievements and then unlocking a character screen backdrop related to those achievements, or maybe clearing through a raid and then getting that raid as a backdrop. Honestly, the potential here is kind of endless, and I can't wait to see what they come up with. Now, something that wasn't in the alpha from what I saw, but it is included in a recent blue post, is that the new character screen will also present you with a lot of information about each character, including their realm, their class and spec, item level, current zone, professions, mythic plus rating, some of your rated PvP ratings, and how much gold they currently have. So if you're searching for an alt with all of your gold, or you've forgotten which character has each profession, this new info could be very useful indeed. Where this system really starts to shine though is with the new account-wide progression focus. Almost everything will be account-wide, or warband-wide, instead of being character-specific. The most highlighted progression feature that will now be fully account-wide is your reputation or renown level. For the War Within factions, these types of content are now account-wide. Every character on your account progresses together and has the same level. It doesn't matter if you change characters partway through a patch or level up some alts later on down the line, you won't have to restart a renown grind ever again. This is going to be huge for anyone who loves to play more than just one character. This Warband progression will also start to apply to older expansions content too, so we know that a lot of Dragonflight reputation and renown will be Warband wide when the expansion goes live. It may take a bit longer to work our way back through each expansion and add those reps into the Warband feature, but eventually we may see every single reputation and faction in the game, old and new, tied to your Warband. So how does this work if you play multiple characters? Does that increase the amount of rep you can get because each one earns rep through quests and storylines? Not exactly. Quest rewards are actually going to be different for the first character that completes those quests. So there's a first time bonus for the character that completes a quest for the first time, and there will be other rewards or bonuses for any other character that goes through the same content. The first bonus reward is usually where you're going to get most of the rep, so doing the story again and again across your alts won't really make a difference because it's that first time you complete content that means the most. Now I know many players familiar with rep grinding may immediately think, so we should always do the first quests on a human character to get that sweet 10% bonus to all rep gains, right? That makes sense, which is probably why the dev team are removing that racial, so humans will no longer get a bonus to rep gains and that racial will be reworked into something else. This is for the best to keep the playing field even and let you play whatever characters you want to first. Warband progress can be found in more places than just the reputation and renown grind. A part of the new delve system, which we'll have a video on shortly, includes leveling up Brown Bronzebeard as your trusty companion, unlocking new abilities and trinket slots to change up how Bran contributes to your adventures. That leveling up process is also Warband wide, so you only have to do it once and you can contribute to it on any character. The days of refarming and regrinding through systems seem to be behind us. Another massive swooping change for the game is going to be for transmog. With Warbands, you can unlock transmog for every armor type regardless of what class you are playing. Right now in the game in Dragonflight, you can only unlock the transmogs for the armor type your class uses, so mages can only unlock transmog for cloth drops. That is all changing in the War Within. You'll be able to earn the transmog appearance for any gear that drops, even if your character can't equip it. So no matter what class you are playing, when you get a piece of gear, you'll be able to unlock almost all of the transmog options for them in the game. All you have to do is get your hands on that piece of loot. The only exceptions that we know about so far are class specific items, but usually class specific items can't drop for anyone else anyway, so that probably won't end up being too much of an issue. It's also worth noting that this only applies to collecting the transmog. You still can't actually transmog your cloth armor to plate armor appearances, but it will let you collect a lot more transmog for your ults that you might not play quite as often. Now, one super key point that needs to be highlighted is that transmog unlocks will be retroactive and will include items you previously could not unlock a transmog for. For example, if you have some plate gear sitting in your bank on a mage, you can't unlock that transmog right now in Dragonflight because it's not something your mage can use. All of that changes in the War Within, so as long as you keep that item in your bags or bank until the War Within launches, you will get that transmog with all of these huge changes at the same time. Perhaps one of the most important items for this kind of retroactive credit is the Tusks of Manaroth. Only plate wearers can unlock that transmog, but not only plate wearers can actually get the item. So if you've gotten the Tusks in the past on a character that can't use them, and you've just refused to get rid of them out of principle, great news! You will unlock that transmog as we head into the War Within. Your Warband is also going to get its very own bank. All of your ults will have access to this bank by default, so if you want to keep materials or items in here that your ults will make use of or need, this is the perfect place to store everything. It's also just an amazing expansion of available storage space for anything that isn't soulbound, which should free up space in your other storage areas as well. This is also where you want to store your Warbound gear, so any ults who might make use of those items can just withdraw them as needed. We'll talk more about Warbound gear in just a moment. You also seem to be able to craft straight from your Warband bank, so as long as you dump all of your profession materials into your Warbank, you'll be able to automatically draw from it whenever crafting on any of your ults, which is a really nice touch. Now, there are quite a few tabs you can purchase for your Warband bank, up to 5 from what we've seen on the alpha so far, so you can unlock a lot of space to store all your stuff. It's not going to be free though, in fact it's going to be quite expensive. Your first tab starts out at just 1,000 gold, not too bad, but then we rapidly start increasing in price to 25k, 100k, 500k, and the last tab is currently priced at a whopping 2.5 million gold. So if you want to unlock every tab in this new Warband bank, it will set you back a total of just over 3.1 million gold. So a lot of potential space if you have the funds for it. I imagine these prices may be reduced over time because 2.5 million gold is kinda crazy, but maybe that's the point. There's a lot of gold floating around the economy. Maybe this is designed as a large gold sink to try and address that, but it's maybe not the right place for such a hefty price in my opinion. How do you feel about all of this extra storage for your ults being locked behind a large gold paywall? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. The Warband bank also lets you deposit gold, so instead of mailing gold to individual characters when you need a few extra pennies on your ults, you can just dump a good chunk of your gold into the Warband bank, and then when you need some, just withdraw it straight from your account-wide stash. I would have preferred to see gold become simply account-wide, where all characters can pull straight from the same pot without having to deposit it or send it anywhere, but I guess the Warband bank is still way better than mailing gold back and forth. Now, while gold seems to be the only currency you can deposit into the Warband bank, there is a way to transfer other currencies to your other characters in the War Within. Certain currencies that are used for Warband-wide unlocks, so the best example of this would probably be Dragon Isle supplies for the current expansion, you'll be able to straight up send those to another character. None of this buy a box to mail to your alt to open on an alt and get 90% of what you spent on the box. It's just going to be a new menu that just lets you pick a character, type in how much you want to send, and boom, that alt now has enough currency to do whatever you're wanting to do with it. This is probably the next best thing we could have hoped for versus an account-wide currency collection. Being able to send however much you want with no restriction, with no penalty or fee is kind of insane, and I'm very much looking forward to this being in the game. Now, this won't be available for all currencies, it's only for the ones that are tied to Warband rewards from what we know so far. The main exceptions seem to be currencies tied directly to player power. The two currencies that were highlighted in the blue post that this will not work for are crests and flight stones, which are probably some of the most important currencies for character progression and what a lot of folks were hoping they could trade over. Hopefully we see more progress here to better facilitate transferring those currencies when your main no longer needs them, but we'll have to wait and see if we get any more info on that specifically. Another super important addition with Warbands is a new type of gear, Warbound until equipped. This is kind of like old account-wide gear where you can trade it to any of your other characters, but Warbound until equipped seems to have a lot more options available because once you use it, it then becomes soulbound. That allows this gear to include higher item levels when compared to previous iterations of account-wide catch-up gear. It sounds like we'll be able to use Warbound gear to quickly get alts caught up. The current plan seems to be for it to be available from raids, dungeons, and at the very least, and whenever you earn loot, you'll have a small chance to gain an additional piece of Warbound gear as personal loot, and it will drop one upgrade track below the source. So if you're looting hero track gear, your Warbound gear would then be champion track gear and usable by any class. This means that just by playing the game, you will be able to get some relevant rewards that can be used by any of your other Warband characters. Imagine clearing through the raid on Heroic and getting some normal raid gear you can just send to any of your alts, or progressing through Mythic Plus and getting gear from a few tiers down of Mythic Plus keys. That is insane and will be yet another reason to level some extra characters in the new expansion. You could technically gear up an alt to a high item level without ever really playing it, which isn't something we've seen before in World of Warcraft. The blue post also mentioned that Warbound gear could drop from other sources as well, so keep an eye out while playing through the expansion. The details for Warbound gear specifically seem quite uncertain still, so a lot of this may change, but right now it seems like an amazing option to earn loot for your other characters while playing your main. The Warband system also changes how achievements are going to work moving forward. Instead of being partly account-wide, the achievement system will be entirely account-wide, so you'll be earning achievements for your Warband instead of for your character. This is also reflected in your achievement points. Currently in Dragonflight, all of your alts can have drastically different achievement point count because it's based on character-specific achievements, but in the War Within, your achievement points are Warband-based, so no matter which character you're running around on, you'll get full credit for your achievements and be able to proudly display those achievement points. This also makes earning achievements across your account much easier in general because it doesn't matter which character you're playing. Your progress is for your account now, so you can pick up a few achievements on your paladin, a couple on your mage, and one or two on your hunter, and you'll have full credit for those achievements on every character. You can also share credit for all of those achievements as well, so if you have an achievement which has a long list of requirements, you can get a few of them done on each character, and it will count towards the whole achievement. Apparently over 2,000 achievements have been converted to Warband wide as part of this move, so it is a massive change for sure. Most achievement related rewards will also be account wide, so things like titles, mounts, and even dungeon teleports from Keystone Hero achievements, so you're not just getting those on one character anymore, which makes these rewards far more valuable and makes me personally way more interested in actually going after some of those rewards. Now there are a couple of exceptions, like achievements that are specifically on a per character basis, like Dreaming of Worms, where it's that character that outgrows certain crest upgrades, or prestigious rewards like Gladiator achievements. There are also going to be special achievements that unlock bonuses for your Warband for getting a character to max level. The achievement One Warband Mentor, the War Within, rewards you with an account-wide, or Warband-wide, bonus experience buff for every other character you might want to level up and play. It's a 5% bonus to all XP gains, which is amazing. Every character after your first max level will be faster, no questions asked. No gold requirements, no random extra activities to unlock, no upgrades to purchase every patch. Just get a character to max level. This is what heirlooms should have been all along. It's not just one achievement though, there are 5 Warband Mentor achievements in total, and they all seem to give an extra 5% bonus to XP gains. So if you get 5 characters to max level, every other character on your account will be getting 25 bonus experience while leveling up just because you already have some max level characters. That is amazing and makes me really excited for leveling alts in the War Within. Now there are some other achievements for max level characters too, but these ones seem to be retroactive, so they aren't limited to just the War Within max level characters. Dragonflight characters should count as well, unless this changes sometime in the future. But the Dynamic Duo achievement is one I want to highlight, which many of you probably already have. All you need to do is reach max level with 2 different classes. This achievement has been updated to reward you with a Warband Bank Distance Inhibitor. This item lets you open up your Warband Bank from anywhere, giving you full access to it for 10 minutes, so you can withdraw or deposit whatever you want from anywhere in the world. The only downside is the 3-hour cooldown on the item, but the achievements for getting 3 and 4 different classes to max level have also been updated, and they reduce the cooldown on your remote Warband Bank. So the more classes you get to max level, the more remote access you'll have for all your alts in your Warband Bank, making that system even more efficient and useful. Then there are also some other achievements popping up due to the new focus on account-wide progress, including this Algarian Dungeoneer achievement, which requires you to complete every dungeon on Mythic difficulty as a tank, a healer, and as a DPS. Not only do these achievements reward the folks who play multiple characters or roles, but it also incentivizes you to make use of the Warband feature to level up some other characters and try some new classes or specs or roles. Warbands just make playing alts easier and more accessible, and between the experience bonuses from getting to max level and being able to quickly gear up with Warbound equipment, this will probably be the most accessible alts have ever been. So having achievements like this is feasible for once, and it's a really exciting change in my opinion. It doesn't stop there though, there are a handful of other things which will be tied to your Warband instead of to your character, like Flight Paths. In the War Within you only have to unlock each Flight Path once. As soon as you've unlocked it the first time, every other character will have those Flight Paths available right away, so you can quickly move from quest hub to quest hub on alts without having to run around and pick up every flight path again on every single character you want to play. Curiously, map exploration will not be carried over immediately. The reasoning for this was that map exploration is fun for some people, and uncovering all those little nooks and crannies and completing your map is cool, but it also provides other bonuses like experience which you might not want to automatically opt out of, so it won't carry over passively. But there will be a new toy available called the Warband Map to Everywhere All at Once, which reveals all sections of your map that a member of your Warband has already explored. So your map exploration is functionally Warband wide, it's just not automatic, so you get to choose whether you want to rediscover areas or not. And then the last thing I want to highlight as we wrap up this video that went on way longer than I intended, but that's just how big Warbands are, is that while Warbands are a War Within expansion feature, they're also an evergreen feature. This will be built and expanded upon as the expansion unfolds, but also carried forward into the rest of the World Soul Saga and beyond. This is the new foundation for how the game will be built. Everything we've played up until now has mostly been character-centric, so moving towards an account-centric focus is a massive shift, and you can already see how it's changing how gameplay elements are built and how we're going to interact with the world. It's super exciting, and I can't wait to see how everyone reacts to it when the War Within eventually launches later this year. But that's everything we know about the new account-wide progress feature, Warbands, coming in the War Within expansion. What do you think from what you've seen so far? Does this make you want to play more characters in the next expansion, or will you still just stick to a handful? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon, to all of our members who are on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you'd like to add your name to the end of every video, video with a special shout out at the start of the next video, you can find links in the description of the Patreon or click the join button just below this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I'll see you next time.